Hey, everybody, welcome to Bearded Baker Banter. It's the sports podcast, and we have a special episode for you. Welcome, Trent, and welcome, Trey.
How's it going, fellas? Good to be back.
Guys, do you guys hear those like little faint paper clippings hitting the floor? If not yet, you will, because tickets are being punched this week and next. Let's go.
That's right, baby.
I thought you were talking about confetti dropping at first. I'm like, Trent, like we're not even close to the tournament yet. So
that's what I thought too. I still actually thought he said confetti until I just realized.
Nope. I said paper clippings. I didn't say confetti.
Yeah.
Although confetti is paper clippings, but that's fine.
It's kind of crazy that it's already started. You know what I mean? Like the Atlantic Sun, I know there's another one, the Horizon, I think.
Northeast.
Yeah. There's a couple of them, but yeah, it's just like, man, it just came upon us so quickly. But I love it though.
Yeah, definitely quite a few tournaments. I mean, that's one of the main reasons here that we're had this episode coming out here on Thursdays, because there is a bunch of tournaments that are either starting Thursday, have already started, maybe a round or two. So we'll kind of get into that stuff here. This is our conference tournament pick'em episode. So we're going to go through each conference tournament, all 32. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to pick our winners. We'll have a little discussion with some things. But before we get into that stuff here, all right, we're just going to kind of go right off the whim and go with a last four in. All right, so we're looking at a last four in here. And what I really want to ask from you guys too, all right, is pull up my graphic here for us. Who are we looking at in terms of some last four? And I know our favorite person here, Joe Lenardi. Sorry,
Luzardi.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I know he obviously has some of his picks and things, but I would like to at least talk about some other here. Let me pull this up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this list is kind of comprised of a lot of teams that have been kind of circulating back and forth between. There's kind of a couple categories: last four buys, last four in, first four out, next four out. So the teams that you're seeing over here in the graphic, we can probably read them off for our listeners: is Colorado, Drake, Iowa, Memphis, New Mexico, Pittsburgh, Providence, Seton Hall, St. John's, Utah, Villanova, and Wake Forest. So,
all right, so let's just rattle them off here. Who you got in here? Last four in. Trey, why don't you give us your four?
So, man, last four, that's tough. So I'm going to go with one that's actually not on this graphic to start. And it's because they dropped a couple games. I think they were a shoo-in a little bit ago, but it's an ACC team. Unfortunately, it isn't Wake Forest, and that's Virginia. I think they have to sustain a couple wins in the tournament. I know they come across Duke later on in their ACC tournament, the way the standings are right now. But I think they got to win at least a game or two in order to kind of stay in that tournament. I really think that it could be the last four in if they lose to Duke. If they beat Duke, I think they're a shoo-in. But that's my first one. The second one, I think, is Memphis. I think they play really well against the AP top 25. I think they're like 4-0 or something crazy like that. I would have to look, but they're 4-0 against the AP top 25. So undefeated against them. They play good teams well. Granted, they do have some bad losses. I think they got to do some damage in their tournament too to kind of stay in there. Last two, man, I feel like it's just kind of like a toss-up. So one of them is because I think an at-large bid might get stolen. I put that in air quotes because I think they're going to earn it. But I'm going to go Indiana State as a last four in.
You giving them an at-large?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Well, I mean, they only have three losses.
Yeah, but you got to think, Tyler. 3 losses in what conference? That's what matters, truly.
I know. I know.
Okay, I'll give you another example. Florida Atlantic's got to win their tournament to get into the NCAA tournament, and they were ranked top 10 in the beginning of the year, pretty much ranked throughout the whole season, and now they aren't. And I think they gotta win their tournament in order to get in. last team I'm going to go with is Iowa. I think they're catching heat at the right time. I think they could make a run in the Big Ten tournament, but those are my last four in. So Iowa, Memphis, Virginia, and Indiana State.
Okay, cool. Jen, who you got?
Well, where did our lovely graphic go? I was really relying on that to refer to.
Sorry,
but
I mean, this is kind of eating away at slowing us up a little bit, so that's why I pulled it away.
Okay.
Just see. Laptop was breathing heavy.
It's all good. It's all good. So I think the first one that I'm going to take off of this list is strictly from the list, and I think they solidified it tonight. Even is I think Seton Hall is is in, and we're just considering these last four in, correct?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think Seton Hall is in. I'm slipping here. I do think Iowa is going to make a run in their conference tournament. They're going to have to win at least two games. I'm not sure where they stand currently in the standings. If they get one of those like crazy, because I'm pretty sure the Big Ten has like a crazy amount of buys. Most of these conferences now do if you're top four. It's like a double or triple buy. I like Iowa because Iowa's hot right now. But one thing that we have to take into account is they are no longer considering the last 10 games. So that is something that could also hurt Iowa. Mm-hmm. For tournament consideration, Trey, is what I'm referring to. Yeah. So that's two. When I sit there and look at them, man, I'd probably Trey, I'm kind of with you. I don't know if this graphic wasn't or this list was not including Virginia because we're saying they're already in. I think Virginia's last four in though at this point because they've really fell off. Their season has been literally a season of, I think, starting out very, very low and then all of a sudden catching fire, looking like, hey, we're a top 25 team. Matter of fact, they landed in the top 25. But then they went through the blue bloods of the ACC and hell, Virginia Tech losing by 40 there. That was very, very poor.
Yeah.
I guess my last team from that list I think they're on that list. I kind of forget all the teams that are on it. I'm gonna go with a dark horse here. I'm gonna go with Pitt.
Yeah, they were on the list.
Always represent the ACC trend.
Darn right, I'm loyal.
I'll also share this list too on X with our listeners too. So
I'm gonna go Pitt. I think once again they are a team that here's their thing. It's the old saying, live or die by it, right? If they are hitting their 3-point shots, they are a team that can be absolutely scary. And Hinson for them is one of the hottest, probably the best shooters in the entire country. And I think he will, I think this is his last go around because he's pretty darn old, probably like 28, up there with Armando Bacot. So I'm going to go Pitt as my last one.
Okay. It's funny, Trent, is I know I was actually on the Pitt bandwagon as well. I'm putting Pitt in there again as a supporter, not a spokesman like Trent, but as a supporter of the ACC. I'm going Pitt in there. This is in no specific order. I think Wake Forest, after last night's loss or the other night, I think they're done for. I'm going to take a little bit of a reach and say that St. John's as it gets in. And I know a little bit of a reach. I mean, I just think ever since Pitino called his guys out, I don't know. There's just been different aura around that team a little bit.
They won one big game and then they destroyed a DePaul team by like 50. Who hasn't, right? It's Rick Pitino's white suit, that brand new white suit he's got. I'll tell you what, awesome. You would not catch me in a white suit like that because that thing would have a stain in no time. I'd be taking the Dawn dish soap. Oh man,
you can't be eating like spaghetti sauce or something while you're wearing that.
Be a stain on his pants. In a white suit. Be a stain on the back of his pants, Trey.
So Todd, finish your 4, and then I have a question for you guys.
Sorry. All right. The other one that I'm going to go. Wait, hold on. I got Pitt. I got St. John's. I'm going Memphis as well. Memphis, I don't know. Ever since I watched that game the other night, one that when Trent, you had that pick.
A little sweaty.
I mean, he gave up 61 in the first half and then held them to 20 and scored 60 themselves in the second half. I'm like, what's going on here? But so I'm going to go Memphis. I think they're kind of getting a weird hot at the right time, which, I mean, that is the madness, right? And then the other team, oh man, I'm going back and forth with this one. I've been going back and forth between New Mexico and Iowa. I'm going to go with New Mexico. So
don't like it.
Boo.
So I like everything but New Mexico, Tyler. I just don't trust them.
So you would say you did say Iowa, right, Trey?
I did say Iowa. Yeah.
It's kind of a toss up. I'm picking New Mexico based off of, I don't know, just their tournament and something. Yeah.
Based off of, don't know.
Yeah. Just a hunch.
No. I will say this: they do like to cover the spread a little bit, though. So
yeah, well,
they're out there.
Fortunately,
that's not win games. I know.
Not for me.
That was kind of tough for me to break a little bit because I'm like looking at the teams like, oh, hey, Lemoyne, hey, all right. I'm like, they cover a lot, and I'm like, wait a second, covering doesn't matter here.
They could still lose by 15 and cover.
Right.
Exactly. The Dolphins.
The Dolphins, dude. It's so cool, dude. It's so cool.
So before we move on to the conference champions, my question for you guys is what's up, Ty?
I was gonna say they cannot make the tournament this year. Lemoyne can't.
Oh yeah, the stupid 3-year rule, which is ridiculous. Yeah. No, my question is, you guys both had Pitt as your last 4 in. So what if they don't do anything in the ACC tournament? Do you guys still consider them a last 4 in, or are you banking on them doing something? Kind of making a little run. Okay. You almost have to, because with all those other teams, I mean, they have a pretty weaker resume and all things considered. So I almost feel like they have to make the final, I would say, to be an at-large.
I don't know. I think that win at Duke is something. At Duke is a very. Yeah. I just look at some of these teams that play in certain conferences that are considered shoo-ins, like in the what's the is it Mountain West, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's who I was a hater on last year, if you recall.
Do you know why? I like the Mountain West, man.
Little ACC rivalry if you've been on the X as of late.
The Mountain West and the ACC.
Oh yeah, big time clashing, button heads, talking smack to each other, one another. Hypothetical matchups. But
Trent's got that ACC insider.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's all my burner accounts actually, but no, they are. It's kind of funny. But then when it goes head to head, I mean, even the bottom of the ACC knocked off like bubble teams that were in the Mountain West. So it's really not much competition. But it is what it is. But
I mean,
it is.
There's sitting at 4th right now, and then the ACC.
That's what blows my mind. Like they are the 4 seed now.
I'm just telling you the way it's not fair, Trent. And I know it's going to get you riled up and worked up, but the ACC is not, their conference wins aren't weighted as heavy as everyone else's for whatever reason. I don't agree with it, but being 4th in the ACC, to use your comparison, is not as good as being 4th in the Mountain West this year. Just from the pundit standpoint, I don't agree with it. That's how everyone sees. Okay, but I'm just telling you that's the reality of how things are interpreted.
You want to know why? Is because they need a West Coast conference to replace the Pac-12. So they're trying to sell our asses all about the Mountain West, West Coast basketball. I'm sorry. Who won it last year? Connecticut, right? I'm just saying, when's the last time we had a West Coast champion? Look it up.
Yeah, but San Diego State was in the Final Four.
Yeah,
or were they in the final?
But a champion, though. That'd be interesting.
I'm telling you, it's past a certain point, past the Midwest point, because I think Kansas is probably in my opinion, I think the furthest West school that has won the national championship. Teams on the West Coast, they don't win it anymore, man. They've made it. Don't get me wrong. They've made it, but I guess some people hang banners for Final Four when you make it. But I don't know. I'm sure Duke has a couple making the Final Four banners, but
I mean,
really, the only banners that truly matter in the end are the champion ones, the national champion ones.
I agree with that.
Or their conference. I would give credit to conference champion. Tournament champion.
So
real quick, in reality, the true conference champion is whoever wins the tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Would you consider Arizona West Coast?
Yeah.
So if that's who we're considering Western, then Arizona in 1997 was the last time a team that's not in the Midwest or the East.
That is how many? Is that 20? How many years?
Dude, I mean it's
27 years. No,
and then prior to that, it was 1995 was UCLA.
Get a stack guys on it.
20 years would be 20 years would be
2004.
No, 20. He said 1997.
Yes, it would.
Yes, so 20 years ago would be 2004. So add 7 to 20, it's 27 years.
Okay, good. We're right.
Trent's in that weird math mode. Remember?
Yeah. Gosh, that's a way too long.
Yeah, like people are like, oh yeah, it's like 25 years. Yeah, no, that's nuts though. 1997, Arizona. Yeah. Wow,
it is wild. I didn't really realize that until you pointed that out either, Trent. That's
welcome.
Bizarre.
Just doing told you a lot of burner accounts.
Let's get into these 32 conferences, fellas.
It's not like
I'm excited.
Shannon Sharp burner account. You got Trent's burner accounts.
Oh gosh.
Dude, can we just say real quick? I don't like to give this guy credit a whole lot, but Antonio Brown's comparison of Rex from Toy Story and Shannon Sharp. If you haven't seen it yet,
dude, yes,
the awkward video of Shannon Sharp leaving his vehicle to go into a wine and spirits type store, and oh my gosh. Antonio Brown pointed out that he looks like, what is it, Rex?
Yes, from Toy Story.
Rex from Toy Story. Yeah. It is weird, spot on. I don't know that whole what are they calling it? CTE brain of Antonio Brown's. It's pretty funny.
Oh, dude. Yeah, he fell off, man. That's a shame.
Ever since he froze his feet.
That's what a career. That's what you're going to count it to, him freezing his feet.
Well, remember, he missed a couple games because
missed a couple games. He never even dressed for the darn Raiders, I feel like. So
he's
screw it.
No, so when we do, so everyone's aware, I think it was 3 weeks ago with Fast Breaks, we did regular season conference champs, right? So this is the tournament, just to reiterate and clarify so people don't get them confused and stuff. But I don't know, fellas. What'd you think of? I mean, it wasn't easy. Some of these conferences, what is it, the Metro Atlantic or whatever? I spent more time than what I should have interpreting that conference and trying to pick one. Yeah. So no, it did take me a good bit of a couple days, and I mean, I had a good time doing it, but it's not an easy task.
Can I tell you what I realized? Is that there's conferences where I am so hyper focused on. I'm talking small conferences. Right. And then there's small conferences that I have not a damn clue.
Right.
Where I'm like, I've never watched this team. I've never had this team on. I don't even know what conference this is.
Well, I'll tell you the one that is the hardest one to keep track of is the Big West with all the UCs.
The Big West, yes, that's.
Oh my!
That was the one that I was like,
It's wait, this is the team I really liked. Yeah,
yeah.
No, it's the other. One of the other 5 UCs.
But that's when Trey sits there. Trey, you would probably be the only one that place bets on Cal State Northridge.
Oh, dude,
right?
CSUN, yeah.
Those, and then you got the schools like Texas A&M, CC. Texas A&M Commerce, you got UT Davis, UT Martin. Heck, I think the one day I had a panic moment because in one of our recipe picks, Trey, you picked UT Martin, and I'm like, look, I literally had a game on for the longest time, watched the whole game, and I'm like, all right, we got to win, and then Trey's like, dang, 0-1. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, oh no, did I bet on the wrong team? No, I
Did
just
you bet on the wrong team? You just had the wrong game.
No, I just watched the whole wrong game thinking, I'm like, this is awesome. This is a no sweat. You're killing it. I almost even texted you guys like, dude, this is awesome, but I don't want to jinx it. And then Trey's like, 0-1. I'm like, what? Am I watching like a previous recorded one here? Jeez. But they do get confusing. You're right, Ty. It pointed out to me that there's definitely these small conferences that we do wager a lot more on and pay a lot more attention to.
Well, and I think we all have different ones too, because I mean, like I said, Trey, I know it's funny you mentioned the Big West, but like, I only really knew any team in there because I feel like you were the only one that bet anybody from that conference.
Yeah,
like, from the rest of the all basketball season.
I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning of this year, I try to make an effort to be more familiar with them because I see their games all the time. They're always matched up against each other, and they're not too.
And they're always late.
Right. Yeah. And so they're always late on TV usually. But also like I feel like they're always like their records are always like about 500 with each other. So I mean there could be opportunities to win bets and take advantage of some lines. And one of those teams this year for me was Cal State Northridge for some reason. I love betting on them and they treated me well. But
I think Ohio.
The Matadors. Guys.
Oh boy. Hey, yeah. I know what a Matador is.
Ole.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, with the red cape.
It does like little black hats.
Yep.
Yeah. Almost like Mickey Mouse ears.
Or like Pharrell, like one of those hats he wears. Well, not as tall, probably, but yeah, the same shape.
Oh, like you're talking like the big.
Yeah, has like the folds on the end, and then it comes out on the side.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you, Todd.
Right, I could see that. Yeah. Well, I think they were a little bit smaller than that.
Yeah. So my question is before we start listing winners and giving our like interpretations, what did you guys kind of like use? Obviously, there you can look at like head-to-head matchups and stuff, but what did you use to kind of make your picks and make you lean one way or another? Because depending on the conference and the size of the schools, I use different things, to be honest with you. So I'm just curious.
I was going to say when we pick these overall, I kind of have reasons for it. So it kind of varies from it depending on like I always look for like how they compared or matched up with the other top teams in their conference. So did you sweep them? Did you get swept by them? Did you split with them, and how close were both games?
Right.
And then one thing I mean, I do pay attention to a little bit of statistics like I do for actually making picks, like free throw percentage. I do rebounding, where they rank in that, and like differential.
You went deep like.
Oh yeah.
I didn't go for some that I watch more often, like the major conferences. I didn't do that as much. I went based on, I'm watching ACC basketball every night. It's part of my job, right? But then I also am watching Big 12, SEC, because it's on, and I love the major matchups. But for some of the conferences that I was a little bit more on, I did go a little bit of a deep dive on that. And one other thing I look at is how did they compete against their non-conference like major opponents? So like when these small schools play a big time opponent, did they hang? Did they get beat by 50? Hell, in some cases, some of these small schools knocked off big schools. So that was something I also had in consideration when making my picks.
Okay. Tyler?
So I know
covering spreads. You already talked about that. No,
yeah, no, I know. That was tough for me. No, I used a lot of the data and stuff on teamrankings.com.
Okay.
They've been helpful for me.
Great
they've been helpful in a lot of things. And the resource wise, I mean, they break it down too to even like show you winning your conference percentage. They talk about winning your tournament percentage, things of that sort, which was kind of cool. And they also do share kind of some fun facts about them too, beneath, kind of explaining things and kind of breaking it down. But I mean, honestly, a lot of it was kind of more head-to-head matchups and stuff. Looking at, and I've been trying to do that a lot here with picks, as we're trying to really hit into March. But like looking at who they're matching up against, I mean, again, I felt actually pretty comfortable with a lot of the conferences and kind of where teams are at. And it's like, oh, well, I know they're not going to do it. But then, then in the back of my mind, it was a lot of second guessing because it's March Madness. It's conference tournaments. Guys are playing for everything. And it's like, you're going to see the craziest stuff. I mean, hell, you look at the Lipscomb game last night. I mean, holy hell. Dude comes down, hits a three. Right? Yeah. And then the guy comes down, throws a 1-footer or a 1-footed shot. Like, I mean, it's nuts. And I'm like, wow, like this. Yeah, this just happens. And people question, it's like, well, it's because it's March, right? And I'm like, well, no, but like, it's just highlighted. I don't know. It's weird, but
it's winter.
I don't know. It is, and I think you see the best of the best from a lot of teams coming out. I mean, hell, Detroit Mercy last night almost pulled off a second win. No, I know. We're subject,
had
but
to throw
seriously.
that out there.
Throw that out there. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
But
for
you know
me,
what I'm saying. So
go ahead. Yeah,
I
agree. Head-to-head matchups were a big factor for all conferences for me. When it came to the smaller conferences, though, I kind of looked at Trent. Both of you guys said I used team rankings to see like nationally where they ranked in all of the statistics that I think are important, which are free throws, 3-point percentage, and turnovers, and even steals. I consider like a pretty big one too. But and also with those smaller schools, I looked at their out of conference strength of schedule. If they played majority of big name schools and hung with them or hung tight enough, then that's a huge advantage in my book, right? You're playing competition that's elite, a lot of NBA players probably in those games. So, but the bigger schools I looked more at like the head to head and more like styles of play, because in those schools, like everyone has talent. It's how they match up and how they perform consistently. So I don't know. It's just interesting to kind of see what strategies we all use to kind of come up with our champs and everything. But another thing I really enjoyed was checking all the mascots. You get to learn so many of the mascot names, and you're like, what the heck? Like, man, I got a couple on here.
I'm not gonna lie. The one team I did pick was because of discussions from last year, which we'll get into.
Okay.
I already know.
But I already know too then.
Let's get this rolling. All
right, let's do it. So we are going to start off with one of the bigger conferences. So I want to say it's alphabetical. It's kind of alphabetical, but when you kind of look at it. So we're looking at the ACC tournament here first. Starting date for this is going to be the 12th of March. So it has not started yet. And as far as I know, you can't say where everybody's seated yet.
Not yet.
I know Carolina's now at least shares a spot of first, but I guess because Duke Carolina this weekend. So, we're gonna start with we're gonna start with the ACC here. So, I'll give you mine, and what we'll do. Trent, I think you mentioned about snaking it, or something along those lines. So
let's just vary it up.
Yeah.
So, I'm going with North Carolina to win the ACC tournament. I think as long as they're hitting, as long as RJ Davis is hitting, Baycott's got to stay out of foul trouble. This is kind of a side note. I do think they beat Duke again this weekend. But I don't know, story for another day. But no, I'm going to go with Carolina. Going back to Trey, what you had mentioned too. I mean, top to bottom ACC. I know we want to argue with it. Teams are all kind of pretty even once you get past Duke. Actually, I mean, Carolina's 16-3, Duke's 15-4, and then it's Virginia 12-7. They got a whole bunch of 11-8 and 10-9. So I mean, it's kind of even along those ways. But again, it's the madness. So I mean, holy hell, anything could happen. But yeah, I'm going Carolina.
Yeah, Tyler, I'm gonna piggyback you on that. I'm also going North Carolina. To be honest, it was a toss-up between Duke and them. I think I mentioned this earlier a couple episodes ago, but I feel like UNC's got more experience in general, with Baycott playing 10 years of college basketball and RJ Davis returning and everything. I think they're fighting for a 1 seed too in the tournament. So if they can beat Duke and win the ACC tournament, then I think they have a 1 seed locked up. RJ Davis is playing at an elite level. He looks like the ACC player of the year. So, UNC's, they're a tough team in general. They've looked tough all year, and I think I think they're going to take the ACC. But like I said, Duke's just right there with them, so it's hard to say.
Could also, real quick, just to piggyback your point, and then trying to let you go with yours, but dude, they were experienced as hell last year and didn't even make the freaking tournament.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell's
true.
Changed besides that little feud with RJ Davis?
Right. Right.
And Caleb Love. Yeah.
Exactly.
But weird thing right now. They're both
unmentionable.
Yeah. Well, they're both up for they're the top 5 finalists for top shooting guard in the entire country. Imagine being able to actually get those types of superstars to coexist. That'd be a program.
Seriously.
But they didn't get that.
I feel like there's a little shade with that. Like,
yeah, definitely shade. Lots of shade. Very dark in here. That was a ton of shade thrown there.
Yeah.
Okay. How to get multiple 5 stars to play together. I got Duke in this one. My keys here for Duke is if they can get Caleb Foster back, it's not like the end all, but that would be huge to get another guy that can shoot, that can handle the ball. And it also gives you an extra set of fouls to use up, especially with their backcourt. And then my key is if you paid attention to their game this Monday, which coming off of a big game versus Virginia, which they kind of rolled through Virginia on Saturday, but then they had a quick turnaround, that really tough Saturday-Monday turnaround. And they played at an NC State where they are, I believe, in their last 4 games, 1-3. And
NC State always plays them tough.
They shot horribly in the first half. Filipowski played 5 minutes in the first half and were up 3 points at half. And then they came back and ended up winning by 15 in the end. And one thing that stood out for me that could be the difference maker, I don't know if it was a fluke or if it's just he's developed, and that's Sean Stewart. Sean Stewart, who did break Zion Williamson's vertical record at Duke. If he can play consistently, he is your rim protection that you need there, right? That was the difference. That's what made this team better last year, was having Derek Lively be with Filipowski to protect the rim a little bit more. That's who shut down Baycott.
Call him the rim job guy. It's his job. Protect the rim.
Not gonna touch that. But so I think Foster gets healthy. Stewart comes back. I think Duke could make a run. Whether they beat Carolina this Saturday or whether I just don't think they're going to see each other in the ACC championship. It's very tough for that to happen in that tournament. That we get that. It has happened a couple times. But it's usually not in the championship. It's usually before the championship. But I don't think we're going to see a third matchup between them, unless it's in the Final Four national championship.
One other thing I do think is going to be important to them for winning is if Kyle Filipowski does come off of IR. If he's not playing, I know if he doesn't come off of IR, then they're screwed. Oh, wait. That's right. That's right. Sorry. You never did. Oh, okay.
It's a lot of
shout out to Big Cat.
Okay, let's move on before it gets ugly.
He's talking smack.
Hey, I didn't say anything. I'm not involved in this. But
I'm just saying. Hey, they're having a good year. It's about time after missing the tournament.
I have no comeback to that.
Let's move on.
I have no comeback to that.
You don't. Not with that team last year. Preseason number 1.
They didn't even make the NIT. That's crazy.
Well, Trey, remember they thought that was a standardized test.
Yeah. Oh man.
Sorry. Okay, moving on. Next one.
America East tournament is where we're going.
Give us top 3 teams.
Yep, big one. All right, so right now, top 3 teams. You got Vermont, you got Bryant, and you got UMass Lowell. This tournament kicks off on the 9th.
Okay, I got you. I'll go first. UMass Lowell. Wow, I pronounced that wrong. Lowell.
Wow.
Wow.
UMass Lowell.
it just flowed right off the tongue. But anyway, I have followed this team quite often. They did leave me down the other night, losing to Maine in the bowl to the Black Bears. But they are a team of shooters and slashers, and they can score the ball. They are in the top 70 in points per game. So I'm going to go with UMass. Lol.
Ooh, Tyler, you want to go or do you want me to take it?
Nah, I'll go. I'm going to go Vermont. And I honestly think it just kind of goes back to, because Trent, I'll be honest with you, I had the same pick as you, and I changed it. I actually changed it back and forth 2 or 3 times. But I went back to the fact that the America East tournament reseeds. So Vermont, I think, has a little bit more of an advantage, just kind of looking at some of the lower seeds and stuff that UMass Lowell could actually be matched up with. And that was really kind of how I based my point on picking Vermont. So,
okay.
Trey, is that the Catamounts?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm a little disappointed with both of you guys because you missed my favorite part, which is saying their mascots. Trent, you didn't mention the Riverhawks, which is also a great mascot.
Trey, I'm not going to lie. I am not a mascot expert, and I did not focus on mascots.
You gotta, if you're doing some research on the team, it's right there. You just gotta take notice to it. So yes, it is the Vermont Catamounts, and it's the UMass Lowell Riverhawks. Tyler, I'm with you. I'm going Vermont in this. To your point, they reseed in the tournament, which is a huge advantage for the number 1 seed. So no matter what, they play the lowest remaining seed in the quarterfinals or semifinals. I'm sorry. Also, I mean, they already have their tournament established with the seedings. Trent, I agree. You loved UMass Lowell this year. I don't know if I'm saying it right either, to be honest.
It's better than Lowell.
Yeah. I just don't trust them for some reason. I know they treated you well and everything, but all of a sudden they look like one of the best teams in mid-major, and you bet on them, and then they lose by like 20 to a no-name team. So I just don't trust them. And in all honesty, I think it's going to be Bryant and Vermont in the championship of this tournament. But Vermont's got
Bryant Bulldogs.
Yeah, Bulldogs. They have to say that. Which, hold on, that's weird you bring that up because that's a common theme in my picks. I probably have like 7 Bulldog mascots as my champs.
Lots of Bulldogs.
One thing that stood out to me is Vermont has a big rotation. So they play 8 guys over 20 minutes a game, which is pretty unheard of when I was looking through statistics and everything and roster makeups. But I'm going with the Catamounts for American East.
Do we know what a catamount is?
I think it's it looks like a bobcat or like some type of cat. Let me look.
Yeah, look that one up. I don't believe that at all.
I swear to God, I think it is. It is.
It's catamounts.
What is
you say because it sounds like cat on a mountain?
A catamount is a medium-sized or large wild cat, especially a cougar. So, thank you.
Hey. Okay. All right, Trey. Good job, research.
Thank
All right,
you.
let's go to next one.
It wasn't Trey. That was actually the research team.
Yeah, stat guys. Who's next, Tyler?
All right. So next we got the American tournament, which kicks off or also tips off on the 13th of March. So in the American tournament, I'll read off our top 3 teams here. Top 3 teams right now. You got South Florida sitting at the top. You got Florida Atlantic, and you got Charlotte. So this, I'm not gonna lie, this was a tough one for me.
Trey should start us.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'll start us here. So, this was Tyler, like you said, this was a tough one for me. There's a lot of good teams in this conference, but for me, I ultimately went with the Florida Atlantic Owls taking this conference tournament. I chose them mainly because of experience. They made the Final Four last year in the NCAA tournament, and almost all of their players came back. That big man Golden, Nick Boyd, John L. Davis, who actually still has another year of eligibility if he wants to come back to a school, and then Elijah Martin
dropped like 30 tonight.
Yeah. So I mean, I just think, yes,
thank goodness he did. because that was close for a while.
No, so I just think that experience, and I know they underperformed this year, but they're still a really good team. I mean, they're 23-7. This is their first year in the American Athletic Conference. So they played in a much easier conference last year, and they're still second place with good teams in the American. So, I also, looking at the bracket, they have an advantage of not having to play Memphis or South Florida until the championship game, the way the standings are right now. So I think that's a huge advantage, and those are the two teams that I think would threaten them. So having to not play them until you need to win is, I think, a benefit in my eyes. So
who did you say? Memphis or who they wouldn't have to play?
South Florida. They wouldn't have to play them until the championship game. Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Trent.
Tyler? Me? Okay. I'm going South Florida, the Bulls. Trey?
Yes, it is the Bulls.
So the reason for this pick, one thing that really drove me was just the fact that if they don't win it, even though they won the regular season outright, they don't get in. They don't get an at-large. So they could have won regular season, and they're still not going to get an at-large bid.
You don't think so?
Nope, not at all. I do think Florida Atlantic will get an at-large because they have a win over Arizona. They did much better with quad one and non-conference schedule. But I got South Florida playing desperate. No bid if they don't win. And the guy that I think is the difference maker for them, although some would think it was the lovely named Youngblood, that is their leading scorer for South Florida. But it's not him. It's their big man, who's kind of like a stretch big man. Very awkward to watch. Bleach blonde hair, but fun to watch. He's a player. Kayshawn Pryor averages 12 points per game, 7 rebounds per game. He is the X factor to them, not only winning the regular season, but also going to go ahead and punch their automatic bid ticket for this conference. Two-bid conference.
Fast Breaks pointed out South Florida to us. Remember that?
And he got me on board. They are the most profitable team in college basketball.
I just can't believe you don't think they'll get an at-large.
Not a chance.
Wow.
They have some very, very poor losses. Very poor. Like I'm talking like strength of schedule 300 some losses. Like very bad.
They're ranked 24th right now.
Mm-hmm. It's just my
they're 16-1.
So you think a team lingering around the top 25 wouldn't get an at-large bid?
I don't. Where's their net?
They lose in the championship.
Their net's in like the 70s. They're 78 in net. It's not. That's not. Matters. You don't think the net matters? That's all that freaking.
I think it matters, but I don't think that'll matter in their case.
Trey,
what's Ken Pom have to say about this?
That's true. That's
stupid.
You know, I think Ken Palm's is Ken Palm a person?
No,
it's not.
I was gonna say I don't think it's a person.
I was really hoping.
Dude,
okay,
I have no clue what it is. I just know it's some. I was making a joke, but I know it's some sort of rank. Like, I think it's the stupidest shit ever. Like,
no, it's not. It's not.
It's actually really good.
It's all dumb.
It's really good.
They're all dumb.
It's really good.
No, it's.
But you do have to pay for some good resources.
Ken Palm is a person. Ken Pomeroy, the creator of the college basketball website and statistical archive, Ken Palm.
There you go. So, all right, Tyler, here's your pick, man. Using Ken Palm.
So I just lost track. I'm going a little bit of a dark horse here. I'm going Memphis. And that's Trent's favorite recency bias, dude. But sometimes when you get into March, recency bias is out the window.
I will bet on Memphis. They've been very good to me so far.
Yeah. I'm going Memphis here. So I like I said earlier, I think they're getting hot at the right time. So, all right, moving to the ASUN tournament here.
And this one's pretty deep into it.
Yeah, we are. We're down to last 4 teams. Yep.
Yeah.
So last 4 teams here, which again, this was the one last night was blowing everybody's minds. You know, teams are losing all over the place. So you got their number 1 seeds out. Eastern Kentucky's out. And I believe their 3 seed is also Lipscomb game we talked about earlier. But so you got. It's funny, Trent.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Pick your pick. Pick your pick. Let's go.
Okay. We got Stetson, Jacksonville, Austin P, and North Alabama are left. So I'll just give you mine right off the bat here. This was tough. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is tough because part of me is like, you know what, Jacksonville is kind of playing out of their mind right now, and they can upset anybody. But at the same time, if you look at kind of, you know, Stetson's consistency throughout the season, they are a cover team, yes.
There is.
But I know. But, you know, they also do win. I mean, in their conference, they're 11-5 overall. I mean, and I'm not going to lie, one of the teams that I followed all season, put some bets on small, was Austin Peay, which, by the way, best coaching celebration ever. Did you see it?
No,
if you haven't seen Austin Peay's coach's celebration, he jumped up on the scorer's table in camo pants and was like celebrating after they won last night.
Is it still Nate from Duke, their head coach?
Oh, I don't know. That's interesting. If it's a Duke guy there,
I don't know. It used to be.
Can't think of his name. But yeah,
so
I'll
look it up.
Go ahead.
Tell you what, who'd you go with, Tyler?
Stetson.
All right. I'm also on Stetson, and they are the Hatters because you didn't bring it up. Yeah, Jalen Blackman is an absolute.
Sorry.
Yeah. better pick it up, guys. Jalen Blackman is a stud, averaging 22 points a game. They also beat Jacksonville by at least 13 points in both their matchups during the regular season. Which, you know, I know I said head-to-head was a big thing for me, but honestly, it was also like a thing I took into consideration. Like, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a year. Because when you lose to them, you figure out what didn't go well and you can adjust. And if you're the winning team, you think, okay, well, we won the last 2 games. Let's just keep doing what we did. So one team's making adjustments to try and win. The other team's just trying to do what they keep doing. So I go back and forth with the head-to-heads, but ultimately I think them beating them by 13 points in both matchups is a huge advantage. Austin Peay, the other team I think they're going to play in the championship, very one-dimensional. The one player I think averages all of their points. Everyone else is less than 8, and that's DeMarcus Sharp. So
cheers, governor.
Did you say Trey, was that Jamarcus Sharp?
DeMarcus
Sharp.
No, Sharp.
like Trent in a white suit.
Yeah, eating spaghetti. No,
it's head coach for Austin Peay, Corey Gibson.
Yeah, it's not the guy I thought.
Sure, who you got?
All right, I'm going the famous Jet Stetson. No, that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I'm going Stetson.
The Jetsons.
Yeah. Anyway, good 3-point shooting team, ranked number 66 in the entire nation. They make about 8.5 per game. So give me Stetson to take this one, boys.
Okay. All right, here we go. You ready? Atlantic 10.
All right.
Atlantic 10 starts on the 12th. All right. Now, they did just crown their regular season champion tonight, which was the Richmond Spiders, who won it for the first time ever. First time regular season champion. So I'll really keep it short. Yeah, that actually surprised me too. They're like, first time ever winning the 8. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
All right. I'll keep it short and sweet here. I am going Richmond. I've been riding Richmond. They've been one of the teams I've been following probably since, I don't know, about a quarter of the way through the season. What?
He's just going to keep not saying the mascot, huh?
I did say the Richmond Spiders. I said it when I announced them.
All right. All right. Go ahead. Continue.
He said short and sweet. He nailed it.
Yeah, Richmond Spiders, man. Richmond's taking it, dude. I know you got Dayton. I know you got a lot of these other teams, but I'm going Richmond because when they get going, they get going. So I really like them.
I will take the Dayton Flyers, and I just think cream rises to the crop top. They're the best. They're the best. They're the best team in the conference still, in my opinion, and I think they'll take it. The only sad thing is I guess I want them to win. I think Dayton would get it at large. But I hope some other A10 teams could get an at-large because this is honestly, A10 is probably one of my favorite conferences to follow this year. And I can't say that was always the case growing up, but now I appreciate those teams in that conference, and I think it's super competitive. Super competitive.
I agree with you, Trent, and I'm kind of also disappointed in myself, at least in the basketball standpoint, that I don't follow my own alma mater closer or bet on them closer, being Duquesne University. But Bonaventure had a bad loss last night against Georgia.
Doesn't matter.
So go ahead, Trey. Give us yours.
Doesn't matter. I'm going different than both of you guys. I'm going with the BCU Rams. Big reason for this decision is
it's like mid 2000s.
Yeah, with Shaka Smart, right? That's where he got his name.
Yep.
His parents named him.
Shut up. So what the main reason for my decision in that is the draw of their bracket. I think they're in the perfect spot in terms of their seed and where other teams kind of fall in their seeding. So they won't have to play two, I think, of the most dangerous teams in the Atlantic 10, which is Duquesne and St. Bonaventure. Very streaky, you don't know which team you're going to get, but when they're good, they're very good. So two very dangerous teams. The other thing is on the other side of the bracket, they also have Dayton and I believe Loyola Chicago. Yeah, so those teams are on the other side of the bracket with St. Bonaventure and Duquesne. The only team that is really a threat to VCU is Richmond, and I think they can beat them in one game. Granted, the other teams they have to play, UMass, not too worried about them. St. Joseph's and George Mason, those are the next two highest seeds on their side of the bracket. So, ironically enough, VCU is one of the worst home records in that conference. But they don't play at home in the conference tournament, and they have the best away record in that conference. So, I'm going to go with the Rams coming out of the A10. So,
all right, good. So we have like 27 conferences. We should probably get this rolling, right? Let's start punching them out quick. Big 12 next, Ty?
Yeah, Big 12 is next. Obviously, I think Joe Luzardi has about nine teams. He's saying they're going to get bid. So I don't know. I'm going to go. I see Trent and Trey.
Don't read ours as you're picking them. Come on now.
I'm not.
Yeah, look at him.
I'm going Baylor. The Baylor Bears. They had a nice pickup last night. A little bit of a comeback because they were getting spanked a little bit by Texas, and I think resiliency is going to have Baylor win that conference tournament. So
that's what does it for you is the resiliency, huh?
All right. I'll be quick. Kansas, and I hate it. I freaking hate it. I don't like picking them. I just figure I figure I owe them because they did earn me a beer by having 7 regular season conference losses. Probably 8 after the Saturday. But McCullough is becoming more and more healthy, which will help them in the postseason. Huge thing here. A couple facts, quick ones. This is the most conference losses Bill Self has ever had as the head coach of Kansas. And since he's been in charge, they've never been lower than a 3 seed. So they're kind of on the bubble here of becoming the lowest seed in Bill Self's history. So Kansas gets healthy. This is the one thing that they'll be able to kind of hang their hat on for this season is a conference tournament championship.
Yeah, I'm staying true to Kansas. I know I picked them as the regular season champ. I know that's not going to happen. Congrats, Trent, on your beer that you won for me. They got a great talented lineup: Dickinson, McCullough, Adams Jr., and Harris Jr. I'm going also because, again, the draw of their bracket. They either play West Virginia or Cincinnati, the winner of that game, and then Texas Tech if they beat that team. So pretty easy path, I think, to the semifinals. Easier path than most. So that's why I'm going with Kansas.
All right. And Todd, we don't need to read these teams. We know these teams for the next one.
For the Big East?
For like the big conferences, we're good. You don't have to give us the top 3 teams. Let's just roll with it.
No,
we know those.
I know.
Teams.
I didn't in the Big 12.
Okay. I was just checking. I was just looking out. Save yourself your voice a little bit. Big East. Trey, start us.
Big East.
Big East, easy for me. UConn Huskies. Love the culture Bobby Hurley has there. They have, you name a player on their roster, and that's the person that's going to beat you that night. So
love that culture.
Dude, he's a great coach, and Fast Break said it. Coaching comes big in NCAA. Look at Izzo, Krzyzewski, all those guys. So I'm going to go the Huskies.
Roy Williams too, Trey. Don't forget him.
Thank you, Trent. Thank you.
Jay
Appreciate
Wright.
that.
Jay Wright.
Dean Smith, more Dean Smith than Roy Williams.
Whoa, wow, okay.
Dude,
Trey, I'm going to piggyback your pick. UConn, best team overall in the conference. I think they'll get the number 1 overall seed. This will be their only championship this season.
Mm.
I can see that. I agree. Clean sweep, UConn.
Easy enough.
All right, here we go. Big Sky. The Big Sky tournament.
What a cool name. Sounds peaceful.
Dude, I know.
Sky is big, guys.
Yeah, it's huge.
Huge.
All right.
Anyway.
Very, very vast.
So, real quick, top 3 teams. You got Eastern Washington, Montana, and Northern Colorado.
All right, I'll take this first. This one. Eastern Washington, I'm taking. Lethal on offense, or I should say efficient on offense. As a matter of fact, number 3 in the entire country on shooting efficiency. Free throws, they are ranked 32 in the country. 3-point percentage, number 25 in the country. 2-point percentage, number 7. Give me Eastern Washington and all the red turf that they play football on out there.
All right. Well, first of all, they're the Eagles for anyone that missed that. But Trent, I'm going to follow you up. I'm going to go with the Montana Grizzlies, or Grizz is what people call them, but they are 2nd in the nation in free throw percentage. So you can enjoy that. They're also 17th in the nation in turnovers per game, meaning they can enjoy
that.
I am enjoying that.
Meaning they have the 17th lowest turnovers per game in the nation, and they are 74th in 3-point percentage. They have a player named Ainan Moody who is lighting it up these last couple games.
Ainan. Okay,
Ainan,
gotcha.
Yeah, Ainan Moody.
Gotcha. And
yeah, so I'm going with the Grizz, Big Sky. Shut up.
What was my team? The Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles.
Yeah, an eagle misconception. Their call is more like a short, quick squeak, not the "caw" that you hear in movies.
So what's the short? Let's hear.
It's like a "eep." That's all it sounds like. It sounds like a little wimpy noise. But we have
eagle sounds like that.
Tyler, I'm a science teacher, and I'm going to tell you right now, an eagle's call that they use in movies is actually from the red-tailed hawk, which is a long, drawn-out, powerful call, right?
Yeah.
Bald eagles make a short, quick, squeaking sound. Look it
They're
up.
like 5 feet tall. They sound like that.
Yes, because we have to sell it as being super strong because it's our national. Yeah, that is not what it sounds like. Look up what an eagle sound. After the episode, we're going to play it, and you're going to be like, sorry, Trent. Thank you for sharing that knowledge.
No.
Tony, remember, I think I did a little science last year around this episode. I think I did.
So. Yeah. You also imitated, you sound like a raven one time, too. All right. I'm going Weber State.
That's a pretty good seagull there, Trey.
I know. Did you hear that wheeze?
Yeah. Sorry, Tyler.
Swallow French fry. No, I'm going Weber State, and I don't know. It kind of goes back to the bracket because their bracket is seeded already. So I didn't see too many threats in where they were at. So they also, according to team rankings, they're at 25.9%, which is actually 2nd in terms of the ability to win their tournament. So that's where I'm going.
Weber State Wildcats.
Thank you.
Just wondering when you guys are going to catch on.
Not to be confused with the Catamounts.
Yeah.
No.
Different cat.
Cougars
up in the mountains.
A little different. All right, what's next?
All right. Next, we got the Big South tournament. Not gonna lie, this is actually
fun one.
I was excited. I was just gonna say I was very excited about this one.
Yes.
So yeah, Big South tournament here. The Big South tournament actually started on the 6th last night. So, Trey, you want to lead us off with that one?
I do. Right off the bat, I'm picking the UNC Asheville Bulldogs. First of many Bulldogs for me this episode. Main reason is Tyler. I don't know if you forgot about him.
Or, I didn't forget about him.
Okay, so Drew Pember is still a member of that team, and he's still lighting it up, and he's still a stud. So, the only thing that kind of made me hesitant about picking the Bulldogs is that they did lose to Gardner-Webb twice this year. But like I said, tough to beat a team 3 times, especially if they're in your conference. So
that's fine.
Bulldogs, let's go.
Go Bulldogs!
Not so fast, midget. God, I can't believe it.
All right, Trent, you want to go? Because
I
think the team was a team I was very close to picking.
I got High Point. Don't quote me on any statistics. I just think they're the best team in the conference, through and through. Very, very high-powered offense, and I think
they're hard to beat, man.
Yeah, so that's who I went with. High Point.
Panthers.
So I did go with Gardner-Webb as my winner, and honestly, I've been following Gardner-Webb. I've been picking the spreads, but they've actually had a lot of big outright wins recently. So I'm going Gardner-Webb with a little bit of a surprise here. I believe, team rankings has them only at 9.9% to win, but I did not forget Trey. I did not forget about Drew Pember.
Okay,
but
all right.
UNC Asheville, they just weren't the same team to me this year, man. Like in terms of gambling and stuff. Like I don't know if they were overcapped or what it was, but like
probably because of Pember and him returning and how good they were last year. But they Gardner-Webb is not just the Bulldogs, they're the running Bulldogs.
Ooh,
how about that?
The running Bulldogs. I like it.
Yeah,
it's good.
That was a cool one.
All right, let's move to the Big Ten tournament. All right, Big Ten. Obviously, not going to necessarily go through all the teams here. I'll keep mine short and sweet. I'm going Purdue. The only reason I'm going Purdue here is because this is not the time that Purdue chokes yet. Give them round 1 or 2 when they choke in the tournament.
You really think round 1 again?
Round 2.
Specifically, I would say that'd be a 16 beating them again. That'd be crazy.
I think round 2, maybe round 3. We'll see. But I'm going Purdue.
Maybe round 4 though too. So
okay, I knew that's where you're getting at. Like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah,
maybe every single round. No,
that'd be a good beer bet. Purdue makes it out of the first weekend. Tyler says no. Trey, you say yeah?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd say yeah. And I think they do make it out of the first weekend this year. Yeah, I do.
Beer bet at you too. Meow. Meow.
Yeah. Let's do it. We didn't have a beer bet last episode, so we need a beer bet. So nobody beer bet last episode. It pissed me off. All right. Yep.
Yeah, that's something like us.
All right.
Tyler,
Trey, go
yours. I was gonna say I'm also going the Purdue Boilermakers. Obviously, Zach Edey, contention to player of the year, killing. He's just dominant. Over 20 points a game, 12 rebounds or something like that. But I think what's more important is their trio of guards they have, which is Lance Jones, Fletcher Lawyer, and Braden Smith. They all average over 10 points a game. They shoot over 75% from the free throw line and 35% from the 3-point line. So he's got a good supporting cast this year. And actually, Fletcher Lawyer of those 3 has been looking great. If he lights it up, and then you got Zach Edey on top of that, I mean, I don't know how you stop that team.
I go Illinois. I think they're the only team that has an actual chance in the Big Ten of knocking them off. But I could also see Purdue with an early exit in the Big Ten tournament, mainly because to them, they've already locked up, if not the 1 overall, at least the 2nd overall 1 seed. So not much to play for.
Starters.
No, but I could also see them wanting to, they're focused on redeeming themselves in the actual tournament. So Illinois should have had them last night. They should have beat them.
Yeah. Illinois is a good threat to Purdue. I agree with that, Trent.
Sure. What's the Illinois Fighting Illini?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next one, Ty. That is boring.
All right. Next we do have the Big West, everybody's favorite tough conference.
I'll go here.
Go ahead.
UC Irvine. Oh man, I don't even know.
Irvine.
They've got two guards that are averaging double figures. That's Justin Hahn, Andre Henry. They also lead their team in minutes. And one thing I usually, and I think Trey, you touched on this, is around March, guard play is super important.
Oh, yeah.
I think basketball has transitioned from old days of playing from inside out to now it's more outside in. And that just goes to show you how out of touch the Indiana coach is, because he was just quoted the other night saying, "We still play basketball from the inside out." No, you don't. That's why you're lucky to have your job right now. It was rumor he was gone, but he's here. But anyway, UC Irvine.
Ooh, he just signed an extension, didn't he?
He was supposedly on the chopping block, and then today they said they're bringing him back for another year.
Yeah, I saw that.
Interesting.
Big West for me, trying to echo new UC Irvine, the Anteaters. What a great match.
What a good one.
Yeah,
Slurp those things up.
Yeah. And I'm kind of, I mean, looking at you, Trent, no one.
Ants, slurp up the ants. Jeez.
Weird.
Oh, whoa.
That's what they do.
What did I miss there?
It said slurp those things up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those ants, man.
All right, Trent.
Anteater. Come on, let's go. Team.
Looking at their roster, I didn't really see a player that stood out. I know they do have a lot of guards that are just solid, but I didn't see anyone that like is head and shoulders the player. They did beat 16 ranked USC to start the season. They beat Toledo, who's a top team in the MAC, I believe, and they only lost by 1 point to San Diego State. So I believe they were one of the teams that John Rothstein, great college basketball analyst, pointed out as being one of the top mid-majors early on in the year before there's a large sample size, and they've lived up to it. So I'm going the Anteaters. They have 8 losses. 8 losses total. Only one of them has been by more than double digits. Okay. It's tough to do.
Three's a crowd. I'm on board as well. I'm on the same page. All right. Here we go. Next one we got here is the CAA tournament.
Coastal Athletic, baby.
Yep. All right.
Bucky starts off here.
So,
Trey.
real quick, top 3 teams: College of Charleston, Drexel, and NC Wilmington. Trey, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Drexel Dragons. They have a 10-player rotation that they use, which is crazy. I don't think there's another team in NCAA that uses 10 players consistently.
Sounds desperate.
No, I think it means that they're always fresh, and I mean they're at the top of their conference. So I agree with the strategy. If you have that many good players that can contribute, why not? Justin Moore is the standout guy. 13 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. That's why I'm going with them.
Tyler?
I'm going with the top seed of Charleston. Believe they, correct me if I'm wrong, they won it last year.
They were good. They were a top 25 team last year. At one point,
they were ranked last year. I know everybody's pretty high on them. I'm going with them. I would say a team to kind of keep an eye on though is Stony Brook. Make a little bit of noise.
Trey, Stony Brook.
The Seawolves.
Very good. I didn't think you were going to get that. I'm going with
what do you you actually study these?
I'm just familiar with it, man. You gotta,
I'm going to go the Hofstra. Is it Hofstra Pride?
It is.
Okay, Hofstra Pride.
Like Lions.
Yes. Another team that scores the ball pretty efficiently. Early on, they started. What?
Another team that scores the ball. Like
you didn't let me finish. Efficiently.
No, I know. It sounded funny. Hey, it's another team that scores the ball. Wow. Great analysis, Jen.
If they're strong offensively, they have scorers. They started the year off pretty hot. I think Speedy Claxton, their head coach, will have their team ready to punch their ticket in March.
I love that. Speedy Claxton's a heck of a name.
I didn't realize he was a coach.
Yeah, see? So go shove it.
It just sounded
funny. Right, what's next? Who's next?
Another team scores the ball.
I got my pick. I'm ready to start us for this one.
All right.
So is it Mid-Eastern?
No. What?
That's not maybe conference.
Sorry.
No. Conference USA, right? Yeah. Conference USA.
Yep. I got you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Trent.
LA Tech. I'm going LA Tech. The Texas Tech transfer, Daniel Bacho, found his fit. He averages close to a double-double, best player in the conference. LA Tech takes this one.
Okay. Bingo. I'm Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, baby. They got the two big guys, Trent, Daniel Bacho, like you said, averages a double-double. Isaiah Crawford, the other guy that's not huge, but he's only like 6'7", but he's a threat down low. This is a team that plays inside out, Trent. So I wouldn't say that's gone away and unsuccessful.
I know.
They play an old school style of offense, and it's fun to watch, honestly. So yeah, I'm going Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, baby.
All right. Went back and forth between two teams, none of them being Louisiana Tech, but I'm going to go with Western Kentucky and the Hilltoppers.
Hey, there you go. You're picking it up.
Great mascot. Goofy
dude, and also best football helmets.
Ooh,
yeah.
I think so.
Real big mouth on the Hilltopper.
Interesting observation, Trent.
It is like literally its whole head. Like you've never seen this thing. It's like a trash can.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, Horizon League here. So top three teams. We got Oakland, Youngstown State.
I didn't. I'm not talking about the size of anything's mouth.
It's a weird mascot. All right. Let's go.
We got Horizon League. Oakland, Youngstown State, and Green Bay are the top three teams here. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of more of a pick with your heart than your head kind of thing. I went with Oakland. Oakland, I've been pretty true to all year. They have won a lot of games for me, and they've also won a lot of games, period. But I know the team to keep an eye out for that probably will win it is going to be Youngstown State. But I'm going to pick Oakland. I'm saying Oakland. Oakland's my go-to.
All right, the Oakland Grizzlies, Golden Grizzlies. Sorry. I'm going to go with the team that's not in the top three, and that is the Wright State Raiders. They're starting five, all averages double-digit points, led by Trey Calvins, who averages 20 points per game, 40% from three, and 90% free throw shooter. So how about that? I mean, he's just probably the most well-rounded player I've looked at in assessing these teams. And they also score 90 points per game as a team, which is what, Trent, I think you said once somebody was top 75, I think they're like top 20 in points per game. So they're also top 10 in the nation in 3-point percentage. So I think they got a great team. I just think they got caught up and beating each other up in their conference. It's all pretty equal. And them being a 4 seed, they could sneak right in there and steal that automatic bid.
Well, I am going to be waddling, walking like a penguin, boys. Yep, and they do not weigh enough to break the ice. However, I like Youngstown State. I know, Tyler, you were kind of on the fade train for Youngstown State the other week on an episode. They were really hot early on. Had some really high scoring affairs. They went through a little rough patch here late, but I think, as usual, the cream will rise to the crop top because even on that little slide, they are still a top 2 team in their conference.
Let's it up, Trey. Show that belly.
Crop top.
Oh boy, Trey.
Sweet belly.
All right. Well, next one is the smartest league out there, right?
And you know what? I think probably the most interesting conference tournament too. They only take their top 4. Quick, simple.
It starts on the 16th. So
yeah,
very, very interesting. Looking at the Ivy League schools here.
I could start us.
As I say, I'll keep mine short and sweet. I'm going Princeton.
Okay, I like it. I'm going Cornell. They've split with Princeton and Yale this season, and did I say Yale this season, and
he's struggling tonight.
The 2 times when they lost to Princeton and Yale, both games were only a single possession scoring difference. So I think 2-3 or 2-2. So I am going with the smartest Bears on the planet. Will ace this test. Punch that ticket, Cornell.
Well, they're not Bears. They're the Big Red.
Damn, Big Red's gonna punch that ticket.
Yeah. So
the what?
Bears then?
The Bears are brown.
Damn.
But also in the Ivy.
No, but hold on. But Cornell's mascot is a bear.
No, it's the Big Red. It says the Cornell Big Red.
No. Their name is the Big Red, but their symbol is a bear.
Okay, that's like the Titans have like what I don't know. What's a volunteer, Tyler? They just wants to help out.
Obvious, yeah.
It is 100%. 100%. Hold on. 100% a bear, Trey. So I don't feel as dumb now.
But they are not the Cornell Bears or the Cornell Big Red.
Make your pick, Big Red.
Whatever.
It's a big red.
I'm with Tyler. Princeton Tigers. They only lost 3 games this year. Granted, 2 of their 3 were to Cornell and Yale, so that's kind of disheartening. But
he said Yale too.
Why'd you say Yale too?
Yes, you did. Yale. You did say Yale.
I said idiots.
Yeah,
you said Yale.
No, but Princeton's got a solid 1-2 punch of Xavier Lee and Caden Pierce, so I like Princeton.
All right.
All right, moving on to the MAC tournament.
Yes.
2 A's, not 1.
Yes.
So MAAC. And I'm not gonna lie, if you don't mind, Trent, I'll go first here. I made this pick solely on Trent.
Thank you.
Trent's been on Quinnipiac all year, and I've watched a lot of their games, and I'm gonna support them. So I am going with Quinnipiac.
One man, Matt Belanc. He is the guy. And yes, that's how you...
Not the actor from Friends, Matt LeBlanc.
No, Matt Belanc.
Matt
Belanc. Senior leader, probably could have transferred out. Probably could have transferred out.
Like a palindrome. Just kidding.
Could have transferred out.
LeBlanc.
But didn't, Tyler. And he stays and averages 18 for the top team in the MAC with 2 A's. Quinnipiac.
Sound like sheep.
Man, I was just waiting for how many more times I was going to cut you off.
Interrupt me? Yeah, he does that. All right, let's go, Trey.
Make it a clean sweep for Quinnipiac Bobcats, baby.
Let's do it, boys. Let's get it.
Bobcats, Catamounts, they're all up there in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Eating maple syrup.
Hilltoppers. They're big mouths.
That's so weird, Trey.
It's big old garbage can mouths.
Slurp up everything, right, Trent?
Ant eaters eat ants. They have a little proboscis type tongue.
Oh my God! Don't use a word like that.
Sorry.
Nobody in the world knows what that means.
No.
Oh, all right.
Trey, did you?
Matt.
I didn't hear what you said.
Proboscis type tongue.
I think is that like a protruder, like a protruding tongue.
Yeah.
Like a hibiscus. Like a hibiscus.
Not hibiscus.
That's what she said.
All right, here we go.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
MAC tournament, MAC, just single A.
Return of it. There we go.
Yes, sir. I'm not gonna lie. Favorite conference in football, college football. This has become a pretty favorite conference for me in basketball too. So I am going with the Red Rockets of Toledo. Sorry, the Rockets of Toledo.
Jeez.
Whoa.
Like what? I thought you had me for a second. I got the Akron Zips, experience with their team and coaching staff with tourney play last year.
Dude, their team is on a downward slide.
I believe in the Zips.
Toledo. Boom, Toledo, man.
Yeah, I'm also lifting off with the Toledo Rockets. They beat the top 2 teams besides Toledo are Akron and Ohio.
And, you said your pun so monotone. I am also lifting off with the Toledo Rockets. Gotta say, I'm taking off with those Rockets.
But the 2 top teams besides Toledo are Akron and Ohio, and they beat them 3 out of 4 times this year. So they got their number. They have 3 really good guards in Moss, Maddox, and Cochran. And I think they got a good draw in the tournament too. They start with Kent State, who's really not that good, and then they either play the Ohio or Miami, Ohio. So good draw for them, I think, overall. And that's why I'm taking the Rockets. I almost said Red Rockets. All right. Next.
Man.
All right. We got the MEAC tournament. Yeah. Trent, you want to start us off because I feel like this is one of your teams.
Yep. I'm going Howard. Towns, Dockery, Harris all average anywhere from 13 to 16 points. And they play like almost a whole game too. I am going to be grazing along with these Bison in this tournament. So let's go Howard.
Wow.
Make it 2. Honestly, watching the other night because of your pick, Trent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Howard. They dominated. So.
Weird, Tyler, because another team in this conference I probably made them my pick more than what Trent has made Howard his pick.
Oh.
And I'm a little
just likes me. He likes me.
I know,
more,
yeah.
Trent,
That's I'm kind of getting that feeling, and that's Norfolk State, the Spartans.
Recency bias.
What's not recency bias? What?
Oh, well, I'm saying I have recency bias.
Yeah, you sure do, because Norfolk State is head and shoulders the best team in that conference. The out of conference.
You can't, but you never say it correctly.
Norfolk.
Yeah. No,
State.
It's not Norfolk.
Come on, Trey. We went over this before.
It's Norfolk.
It's no fuck.
What?
It's no fuck.
No, it's not it. You're
bet me. Anybody that lives in Virginia, will tell you how to say it.
Norfolk.
Yeah, there you go. That was probably the best you've ever said it.
Norfolk State, the Spartans. They are head and shoulders the best team in that conference when it comes to talent. Howard's been good to us. I understand. All right, I want to beer bet with you guys on this one then, because I am passionate about the Spartans here, and you guys are both on the Bison. So let's do it.
I'm in.
Trent.
Come on, Trent.
What do you?
Come on, Trent. Oh my gosh, what are you thinking?
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Come on, dude.
Whoa. Are we not allowed to think about him? Like, come on now. Give me a chance.
If you just stood behind your word.
I mean, this is one where I just feel like I'm just, jumping on just to throw it out there. So whatever. Give me Howard. If neither team wins it, it's a push.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're not gonna do it. Make it the farthest.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Put it on the board.
All right.
All right, next one.
I'm the one that puts the boards out.
Mountain West, right, Ty?
Right. Yep, Mountain West. All right. This I'm not gonna lie, this is a little bit tough.
It's the hardest one for me.
Yeah. Mountain West.
I can make this easy decision for you.
Well, no, there was obviously a slew of teams I feel like that really could have been the pick. And this goes back to what I had said earlier. I'm going with New Mexico. Tough. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, again, going back to team rankings, you really have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 6 teams that are within like 3 percentages in terms of like who could win it.
Right.
New Mexico is actually 3rd out of those. So I'm going New Mexico, even though they're 9-7 in the conference. It does kind of look a lot like the bottom part of the ACC in terms of record wise, like where everybody's like the same. So yeah, I think this is going to be like my, what was it, Southern Missouri last year when you guys are like, what the hell? Going to New Mexico here.
Tyler, you
doesn't win this.
The reason why New Mexico has that percentage, Tyler, is they have a heck of a draw. The 3 seed that they're going to be playing right as of now would be UNLV, who really is not. They overperformed in their conference, and that's why they're a 3 seed in their conference. To be fair, like I said, this was the one I had the hardest time picking because everyone seems so equal. They all almost feel like they split with each other in the regular season, and when they didn't split, it was like 1 or 2 point games. So I ultimately went with the Utah State Aggies. Mainly because of the draw of their bracket being the 1 seed. I think they do have the advantage with their matchups and everything. Also, they have a sweet player named Great Bar, who we mentioned earlier, who averages 18 points a game, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. In addition to him, they have 4 guards that average 10 points a game. So I think they got a good supporting cast around too. And Utah State's been solid this year. Yeah, I know I picked Boise State to win the regular season, but I like Utah State in the tournament.
That's Trey. That was the other team I was debating on them against New Mexico. So,
all right, I'll keep this quick so we can get through about the 18 more. I feel like we have here. Let's go. Let's go. Hot team right now, or hot team during tournament time. I'm going San Diego State. A little bit of a sleeper, not quite a sleeper, but not the favorite. Like I said, they are going to win their conference tournament, but they're not making a Final Four run this year.
Ooh. Interesting.
Okay.
They are ranked right now, right?
They've been in and out in the like upper 20s all year, I feel like.
They get that. I guess, never mind. Dumb question.
But, all right.
Who's next? Missouri Valley?
Missouri Valley. Yeah, sorry. We got Missouri Valley Conference. So one of my favorite conferences here with Missouri Valley really kind of goes back to just one player, Robbie Avila. Dude's kind of taken the internet by storm. He, what I would say, plays, you guys can attest to this, old man basketball.
Wait, Tyler, are you talking about Kareem Olajuwon?
Dude, I haven't heard Kareem Olajuwon. I've heard Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh man,
Kareem Olajuwon.
No, it's even better that you messed it up. That's hilarious. That's awesome.
It makes
it so much better.
I made up my own. There we go. Hashtag it. Boom. Trademark.
Oh man.
Once you said that, oh no.
Oh shoot. Rex Specs.
Oh man. Oh dude, that's awesome. Now, but yeah, I'm going to Indiana State. Dude, they win games. I don't know. They struggle at times struggle a lot of times to cover. I know that from experience, but yeah, I'm going to Indiana State. I think they kind of walk away with this tournament. So,
well, I'm gonna also go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Olajuwon or whoever you want to call him, but that guy can ball for sure.
Maybe you call him like Hakeem Olajuwon.
Oh man, I am totally.
That's awesome.
I just want the Sycamores, Trey. I really want the Sycamores to pull this off. I think Trey, you had them as a bubble team early in the episode. I don't think they get an at-large.
I think they do. I think they do. I'm on Trey's.
You gotta tell me a major win that they have outside of conference, if they have one. But I gotta go Indiana State here to win and get their league's automatic bid. But Tyler, please don't bet on them, because I feel like whenever you bet on them, they don't. Like they're starting like they started. I
started to actually fade them because they win, but they don't cover.
Yeah.
No, but I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, because they're always over, especially later in the season now. They are
8.5,
so
9.5.
over. Not even that trend. I mean, I'm talking like 11, 12, 13, 14 and a half.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, fade it.
Trent, if you want to consider them a good win, I would. Toledo, the Red Rockets, they beat them by 2.
Did you try that?
Yeah, I did. You guys are right. I did make Indiana State one of my last 4 in. I do think they get an at-large bid. Being ranked this year, I think that they've kind of earned that. And the team that I'm going with the at-large bid, or the automatic bid, I think is also going to get an at-large bid if they don't win their tournament. That's the Drake Bulldogs.
More Bulldogs.
It's not more Bulldog fetish.
Dude, I'm telling you, I picked a ton of Bulldogs. Not a fetish, though. I don't know why.
Yeah. That's weird.
It's not a fetish. It's just a coincidence.
Just saying.
All right. Anyway, the reason why I'm going with the Drake Bulldogs, not because I necessarily think they're like, I mean, I do think they're just as talented as Indiana State, but Indiana State has a tough draw.
Fetish.
Shut up. Get out of here. Indiana State has a much tougher draw as a 1 seed than what Drake does. So, first of all, they have to play potentially Murray State, who very underperformed this year. They are a dangerous team, and they have the 8 seed. They're an 8 seed, so they have to. If Murray State wins, they got to play them first game, and then they have the winner of Belmont and Northern Iowa, who are also very good schools. Drake, on the other hand, plays either Illinois State or Evansville, and then Bradley would be their next toughest game. So
I won't sleep on Evansville, though. Evansville's a tough team.
Yeah, but they're not anywhere near Drake or Indiana State. Last thing about Missouri Valley, because I know I'm long-winded on a very small conference, but the Drake Bulldogs whooped up on a MAC team, a Mountain West team, and A10 teams, all on their out-of-conference games. They won every single game that they played against that conference in the Missouri Valley, which is very tough to do. And I think people forget, I know Tyler forgot about Drew Pember. People forget about Tucker DeVries from Drake, who is up there with, I think, one of the best people in college basketball. He just plays on a very small school in a small conference. So
he's still there.
He's still there. Tucker DeVries, baby.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going with the Drake Bulldogs. I think they steal. I put in air quotes steal in that automatic bid because I think they're just as good, if not better, than Indiana State.
Yep.
Hey, they're 16-4 in their conference.
Tucker, give me a large hamburger with the fries. I remember.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. Oh yeah.
All right.
Had to make up for that cream Olajuwon.
Yeah, I know you're trying.
I'd also like to give a shout out to Zacchaeus for the
tax collector.
Darn tax collector.
Oh. It was a wee little man.
Hey, it was a wee little man, but the Lord he wanted to see, so he climbed it.
In that sycamore tree. Dang. All right, man.
He might have borrowed Robbie. He probably borrowed Robbie Avila's rec specs to see. All right, moving on.
Taxes.
Yeah. All right. Northeast Conference here. We almost had an upset tonight. Trent, I'm going to specifically point you out to this because your team almost upset. No, I'm saying.
Yeah,
no, I'm saying.
I know.
They almost upset Central Connecticut.
I would have been okay with that. I would have been okay with that because sadly I picked Central Connecticut and they sadly defeated my Red Flash. So I don't really have much of a reason here for Central Connecticut. I am wondering, last year Merrimack won it but did not get in because they weren't allowed. Are they still on that protocol where if they win it again, they can't get in?
Stat guys are on it.
No, I would say I'm 99% sure they can get in.
Okay. So I'm still gonna go Central Connecticut State, top seed, I believe. Maybe Merrimack might have been the top seed, but they're top 1, top 2 seed. I'm going with the Central Connecticut Blue Devils.
Okay. All right. So breaking news: Merrimack cannot make the NCAA tournament. They're in their last year with eligibility. So that being said, I am on the Merrimack Warriors. I think that they have proven that they can beat everyone in their conference in pretty handedly in consecutive games, as they had a 10-game win streak that actually just recently got snapped. But still, winning 10 games in a conference is not an easy thing to do. Jordan Durkak averages 18 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. So I just like Merrimack in what I think is a very weak conference, all things considered. Yeah, so that's why I'm going with them. It's not, that sucks they can't make the tournament. I didn't know that until our stat guys just informed us with it.
Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Merrimack won it last year, didn't they?
Yes, I think they did.
But Fairleigh Dickinson got in.
And then they beat Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I knew there was something big about that.
Yeah, they technically shouldn't have been in it, but
right,
because they
because
lost
of the
championship. Yeah, it's like they lost but still got in. And I was like, oh,
that head coach is now the head coach at Iona.
Okay,
he left.
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, I didn't.
He
know
replaced.
That. He took over Patino.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm also on Merrimack. I'm kind of mad that they can't get in because I thought this was the year that I thought they already did their years, but yeah, I'm on Merrimack. Looking at that, they reseed too in the Northeast. So second round, which takes place on March 9th here, is going to be Central Connecticut versus Wagner, who upset Sacred Heart last night. And then you got Merrimack versus the Lemoyne Dolphins. So Lemoyne, there you go. Merrimack, Lemoyne, both cannot get in. So you're going to have two teams that are playing each other that both cannot get in the tournament, but one of them is going to be playing in the championship.
You know what, though? That makes them more dangerous to win their conference tournament because they're like, you know what? Let's embarrass the system. Let's show them that the NCAA has a stupid rule.
2 years in a row. Can you imagine that? 2 years in a row?
I hope it happens.
It's not going to happen.
It's whatever, Trent.
Central Connecticut's going to win.
Yeah.
I don't think so. All right, let's move to the go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'll start with the Ohio Valley Conference.
All right. So, yeah, we got Ohio Valley Conference. This, going back to Big West, this was another conference that was a little bit tough for me. Really had to dig deep on this one. But, Trey, go ahead.
I didn't find it that hard for me. Maybe because I like this team throughout the year, and I know we talked about them earlier, and that's UT Martin, the Skyhawks. They quite honestly, they have probably two of the most dynamic guards in college basketball, and they play on the same team. That's Jordan Sears and Jacob Cruz. They average over 20 points a game, 5 rebounds, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 assists. In the last 6 games, one of them has scored over 30 points in each game. So I just think they're a very dangerous team. I think guard play is what benefits you in this time of the year. So pretty weak, even conference, I would say. And like no one really stands out necessarily, but and I think UT Martin's got the skill set to kind of take that conference.
Trent?
All right. Well, who doesn't love my pick?
Who's your pick?
Go ahead and see. Oh, Moorhead State. Okay. Everybody loves them. Okay. Matter of fact. Oh, whoa, matter of fact, that is the only reason. No, but seriously, this was a conference that, when it came down to it, it's one that I don't feel the top dog is going to win it. So I'm going Moorhead State to not a major upset, but I think pull off a surprise and get that automatic bid.
They are ranked top to win it, just so you know.
I thought they were the 2 seed there.
They are.
No, they are. But I'm saying in terms of percentages to win the conference.
Okay. Well, I didn't go top seed. Sorry.
So that's the other thing, though, that one of the reasons why I took UT Martin is because UT Martin has to win just 2 games. Because they have this tournament set up almost like the ACC, where the top 2 seeds get 2 rounds of byes. Yeah. So really, they're automatically in the semifinals.
ACC top 4 teams get those byes.
Yeah, but I'm saying they still get 2 bye weeks. So UT Martin they're automatically in the semifinals, and they play. Let's see. They play Moorhead or SIUE or Eastern Illinois. So
it's not good if they play Moorhead. Moorhead's going to beat them.
Like I said, they blow.
That's honestly, and if you look at actually like the top part, like the top seed is Little Rock in the conference, and I'll be honest with you, and this only comes from Trey, you picking, I think it was, I don't know, one of you guys picked a game. I think it was like Tennessee Tech versus Tennessee State. And I watched Tennessee State play, and I was like, oh. And so Little Rock would actually have to match up against Tennessee State. So, yeah, I'm on UT Martin, and honestly, again, conference I'm not familiar with, picked it based on Trey's analysis on a lot of games and stuff, picking them earlier in the season. And watch them play a little bit. So yeah, I'm on UT Martin here too. So it does definitely help though. You get to play 2 games.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
huge advantage.
So. All right. Moving on to the Pac-12 RIP. Pac-12 tournament here. So
hate it. Hate this. Not that I hate the Pac-12's falling apart, but I hate my pick. My pick is Arizona It's like blah, no crap. I mean, they're the best team in the conference. I mean, it's a conference that in reality is only going to get 2 bids at most, unless a team pulls an upset, right? But Arizona's in. The team that I really wanted to take, but in reality, how can you pick against Arizona? I just think they're too good for that conference. The team that I would have liked to pick would have been Washington State, but I picked Arizona.
So Trent, I'm with you. I picked Arizona too. I think it's kind of an obvious one, but you could have picked Washington State, and that wouldn't have been a outrageous take because Washington State did beat Arizona twice this season.
Hard to beat them 3, like you just said there.
Bingo, exactly.
Bingo.
Oh man, trifecta. I'm also in Arizona. I'll be honest with you. Pac-12 in basketball is a lot more boring to me than it was in football
this year. But usually the Pac-12 in basketball is better than the Pac-12 in football.
I was going to say the Pac-12 sucks. They haven't won a national championship since 1997.
That's 27 years ago.
Here's my calculator.
Oh, but would you say, Trent, that they're better as a basketball conference than a football conference traditionally? You got UCLA. You got Oregon, Cal,
those are
Arizona
football schools.
State, USC.
That's football school.
Okay,
you're naming
Oregon
all
State.
football schools.
No,
football.
No, I'm naming schools that are consistently better at basketball than they are football.
Oregon State's better at basketball than football.
Hey, I'll settle
Did
this.
they make the Elite Eight? You
doesn't
loved
matter
them the one year
anymore.
they made the Elite Eight, Tyler. You bet on them every game. Made us a lot of money. USC,
The
great
Beavs. The Beavs.
Leave it to the Beavs, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like previously this past year, Oregon State has been great in football.
Great? I don't think so.
I don't know. I think they're better for a while.
They were pretty good this past year with DJ Yomalawaloa.
Wow.
He's going to Florida State now.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah,
His brother's the one that was a quarterback. He was a quarterback.
No, he is the quarterback.
He is the quarterback.
Okay. So then his brother played defensive line for Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those guys.
Defense or offensive line, but yeah. All right. We're all in Arizona. I want to go to the next one.
All right. Patriot League. Another league I did not pay a lot of attention to.
Didn't need to.
I'll say, I'm going Colgate. Pretty clean sweep. They stand out amongst the rest. So,
yeah, I took Colgate too. I mean, they're clearly the best team. They only have 2 conference losses. The second place team has 8 conference losses. That's a pretty big disparity in conference. So, if Colgate doesn't win it, there's some bubble teams that are going to be absolutely pissed off.
Not only that, Trent, they're the only team that is above 500 in their conference overall record. So the Colgate Raiders, absolutely. I mean, if they don't win that Patriot League tournament, that's going to be kind of like I'd be mad about that automatic bid because I guess only one team's getting in from that conference anyway. So
I shouldn't have said bubble teams won't be upset by that. It's just frustrating when the best team in the conference doesn't make it sometimes. But then again, I also love it at the same time.
I don't know, but I mean, just to kind of explain why Colgate, they're out of conference schedule. They played Syracuse, Arizona, Illinois, and Vermont, and they still only had 9 total losses. So very tough out of conference schedule too, which was going to help them in the long run.
Okay.
All right. Next, we got the SEC.
I can start this one.
Go ahead.
I like Tennessee Volunteers. This was a tough conference to pick just because they all kind of beat up on each other. Never know who's going to show up and actually not show up in the SEC. And Dalton Connect is, I think, just one of the, if not the best player in college basketball when it comes to like skills of all kinds. He can shoot,
Dude's
play
a
the
beast.
perimeter, he can slash, he can rebound. I think when it comes to Tennessee is sometimes Connect can get shut down by teams, and that's a strategy that teams take is to just cut him off and let other people beat you. And that's where they've struggled. I mean, if Vescovy and Ziegler don't step up, or Adu don't step up when Connect's got a good defender on him, Tennessee struggles, and I think that's where they got to kind of step it up, and that's how they're going to win games. So when Vescovy plays well, they play well as a team. When he doesn't play well, they usually lose. So I don't know, but I think overall they have a lot of talent. So I like Tennessee a lot in the SEC.
Come. We'll go, Trent.
Yeah, I think I picked one of the more volatile teams in the SEC.
You did.
I picked Kentucky. Some nights they look incredible, and then other nights they completely let you down. But the thing that has me on Kentucky being dangerous here is just their offense. Now they can't guard for a lick, but their guards are key here. Pretty much Kentucky has to win every game. It's going to have to be a shootout for them. And I think with the fact that they have Reeves, who averages 20 points a game, and then, in my opinion, probably going to be a top 10, top 15 pick in the NBA draft coming up, Dillingham, who's actually coming off the bench a little bit. He's averaging 14, but he is also probably one of the most explosive players in all of college basketball. So I'm going Kentucky to win this and probably all of a sudden be in the debate for a 4 or 3 seed.
It's going to be interesting because Tennessee's a team that I feel like blows it every year in this tournament. Kentucky lately, I don't know if they have an identity. You know what I mean? Like in the sense of like who's going to show up that night. So if they have consistent good games, for sure. My pick's going to be Auburn, simply because of Bruce Pearl. I think Bruce Pearl's a guy that can get his team prepared. But I will say this.
Motivated for sure.
Yeah, a team that keep an eye on though in the SEC this year. I think they're gonna get a bid no matter what, but a team to keep an eye on in this tournament is gonna be Florida. They had, they smacked around Alabama the other night. Had I don't call it a bad loss to South Carolina, but
it was
they
bad.
should have beat.
I watched it. It was very bad.
Yeah. But
if all you got to do is throw a 1-3-1 zone to Florida, and you'll win every game against them, because that was.
I'm just saying keep an eye on Florida, because Florida could be a team that could actually surprise some people, at least in the SEC tournament here. So
yeah,
but they're gonna be a dangerous 7 seed.
Yeah, 7. You mean 16? Just kidding.
Well, like I said, I watch them. I've never seen an actual good, like, bigger conference like team like Florida. Like, they're a pretty pedigreed name in college basketball.
Yeah, last team to repeat.
They looked like a junior varsity team against the zone. I literally couldn't comprehend it. It was hard to watch, and they blew a 13-point lead against South Carolina and lost the game.
Yeah.
So
no, I know. Shouldn't
if teams watch tape, which I know these coaches do, then they're done.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Southern tournament, the Southern Conference here. If you guys don't mind, I'll start this just because the Furman Paladins. Rocking it.
This is the one you were talking about from last year, huh?
Yeah, this is what I was talking about, dude. Yep. Furman. I know they have 8.8% chance to win tournament. I think that they have had some competitive games. They have a guy that can go off. I'm going Furman.
Okay. I would like to.
I think they're surprising people.
Saturday, March 9th. What are you doing this Saturday, Tyler?
Going to the Rising Sun, I think.
Okay. I'd like to watch the Western Carolina Furman game with you and make a beer bet, because I'm picking Western Carolina to win the Southern Conference. And they're first round matchup in this tourney. So if you
ready to do it?
Yeah.
If you are. You go to Rising Sun?
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right, let's do it.
They won't have it on TV there because it's on ESPN Plus, but
We'll watch on our phones and we'll have a St. Patty's Day celebration. So
all right, it works with me. Little fun fact: it's the Western Carolina Catamounts. Another catamount.
what?
Yeah. So
Another mountain cat.
It's a cougar. Vontarius Woolbright for Western Carolina is going to be an NBA player next year. He has all the intangibles and tangibles to be an NBA player. He averages 21 points a game, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. I believe he has 2 or 3 triple doubles this season as well. They split games with every team in their conference that's actually like a threat to them. They did lose to Samford twice, who's someone I'm worried about in this tournament. But overall, roster head to toe, they are a better team. So, Trent, I know you like Samford and H-or, but it's tough to beat a team 3 times in a season, as we've said a couple times. That's why I'm going Western Carolina.
Real quick before Trent goes. The Geese.
The Geese?
J.P. Pegues. Furman. Yeah, no, it's a Furman guard. Dude is a beast. He can just go off. Pegues. 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 When you picked Trey, when you picked Furman a couple of weeks, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I watched and I was like, holy Pegues.
Does he fly south for the winter?
Do what?
Does he fly south for the winter?
Trent, how about you give me your pick? Yeah, how about you give me your pick, Trent? Stupid.
I'm just waiting for you guys to stop giving my picks out before I actually get to give them. A chore once more and more. Yes, I am on Samford.
I knew you were. I knew it.
The Bulldogs are going to take a bite out of anyone in their way. With a chore averaging 15 points per game, best player in conference. Yeah, they have a couple slip ups as of late, but they are going to take away this ticket and punch it all the way to the round of 64, maybe 68 on their season.
A chore is not anywhere close to being the best player in that conference, Trent.
Another day, another debate.
Guarantee you, Montarius Woolbright, he wins the Southern Conference Player of the Year. I can guarantee you that. It's not a doubt in my mind.
But Samford's going to win this one.
We'll see.
All right, next up.
Southland Conference.
All right, I'll go first. Texas A&M CC. The thing about them is everybody is on McNeese State, no matter who it is, because, they've got the coach from LSU. Yes, they've run through the conference, all that stuff. But one thing about Texas A&M CC is they are good. They're better than maybe what you're giving them credit for. They have hung with McNeese State both times. One time, I believe, losing by 1 point or 2, and then the other time losing by 6 or 7. So this is where an upset will occur. Texas A&M
Not gonna
CC.
lie, Trent, if I could agree with you anymore, and I hope that this happens, this is what I hope does happen, because I did pick McNeese State because McNeese State, looking at them, they're so capped. They're capped so heavily, okay, where they're at least 18.5 points every single game, right? Because they're going to win.
Slip up.
Yeah. And if I had to pick a team that I want to beat them and want to win this tournament, it would be the Islanders of Texas A&M CC.
I love that, Tyler. I love how you did that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fun, very fun to watch. They got some stars. They're also another team though that also loves the cover. But yeah, if I'm on McNeese State just because I find them very hard to beat. But I would actually cheer for Texas A&M CC if they played McNeese State, even though McNeese State's my pick.
So completely agree with you that McNeese State doesn't cover a lot, and I think it's because they are capped heavily, but they always win. They always win, no matter what the game is. Top 15 in turnovers per game, that they commit the least in the country, top 15. And they're top 10 in steals and forced turnovers per game. So they force a lot of mistakes and they don't commit any themselves. 5 guys average double figures. They're starting 5. McNeese State Cowboys, 100%. They are head and shoulders above any team in that conference. And they will probably win their first round game, whoever they play.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Summit Tournament. Another tough one for me here. I'm going to go just based on a couple of games and a couple of things I followed with them. I'm actually picking Kansas City. Interesting. I think it'll be a little bit tough. Right now, they're sitting second in their conference, 30% chance to win, which is actually third in terms of percentage to win. I will say this. I'll let you guys make your picks and I'll make a comment, but go ahead.
This was a conference I didn't pay attention to hardly at all this year. So I had to dig a little bit deep, but then again, kind of going a little chalky here. I'm going with the favorite, South Dakota State, Jackrabbits, one of my favorite mascots personally.
Love it, Jackrabbits.
I mean, in reality, who doesn't love a football school that can win some games on the hardwood too? So top 11 in shooting efficiency. So I am taking the best team in the conference to punch their ticket here.
I like it.
Oh man, so this conference is a toss-up from top 5, 6 teams. It's anyone could win it, and I'm going with the St. Thomas Tommies. They lost by a combined 6 points to.
That is a dumb mascot. That is dumb.
it feels like a cop.
That's pretty stupid. Yeah.
It's like the St. Thomas.
We're St. Thomas. What should we call ourselves? What mascot? Tommies. Okay. Yeah, sure.
They took the first idea that was suggested. But no, they lost by a combined 6 points to San Diego State, and they split with North Dakota State. So I feel like those are the 2 teams that they'll have to get to play in the championship. And then they've swept Kansas City, who I'm assuming is also going to be there. Like I said, this one's a crapshoot. Anyone could take it. I like the Tommies. They've won me a couple bets, so I'm going with them.
So I kept this out, Trey, but St. Thomas cannot actually make the tournament.
They cannot. They are one of those teams.
Lame.
So,
along with Tarleton State, Stonehill, Queens, Lindenwood. All those teams can't make it.
Tarleton State.
Look at Tyler's shirt. He's heartbroken.
Hold on a second. Wait, what? Yeah.
Tarleton State cannot make the tournament.
Oh.
No.
I'm telling you.
Oh God.
All right, let's keep going. This really sucks.
All right. I'll start us with the next one.
Sunbelt tournament here.
Sunbelt, baby.
I am going with James Madison. They started off making headlines by knocking off Michigan State in the beginning of the year. They are the best team in this conference. They, at some point in time throughout the season, there was discussion for a while of a potential at-large bid, which I don't think is going to hold true anymore. But that could make some bubble teams a little bit nervous if they don't. However, they take care of business. Some bubbles are going to pop anyways. So I'm going the James Madison Dukes, which is actually a bulldog that wears a royal crown. Trey.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. Tyler, you want to go?
Yeah, I'm also in JMU. This was a tough one in the sense of, honestly, the other team I actually looked at a lot was Troy. I feel like Troy could make some upsets, and I know, Trent, that was a team that you were pretty high on most of the season. And
yeah.
So therefore, I watched a lot of their games. So Troy was another team I kept an eye on. App State's another team I know covers a lot. So I had trouble picking against them, but 16-2, 15-3. JMU, I feel like, has the better team, so I went JMU.
Yeah, I went the opposite of you guys. I went Appalachian State. It was a very tough one to pick between them. Really a crapshoot, but Appalachian State did beat JMU twice in their conference play. That didn't really convince me enough to to solidify my pick in Appalachian State, what really solidified it was their big out of conference wins. So Trent, you mentioned it. JMU did beat Michigan State, but now where I look at Michigan State and I assess them, wasn't as big of a win as what Appalachian State had earlier in the year, which was against Auburn.
Preseason number 14.
Doesn't matter. Where'd they end up?
Auburn was unranked. I think it matters.
It does not matter, Trent. Auburn is now a top 15 team.
Earlier you stated a good loss to a number 16 USC team. That was still a loss.
Okay. Even if they weren't ranked 16 at that point, they beat USC, the Pac-12 powerhouse team. That's a good win.
You beat a top 5 team in the country
at the time, but is Michigan even in the top 50 team in the country? Are they?
They are.
Okay. Either way, beating Auburn was a better win than beating Michigan in my eyes. I don't care what the rankings were.
Long term where they end up now, but
yeah, exactly. And that's all that matters is whatever the preseason assessment is always wrong. Look at UNC there, preseason number 1. It didn't make an NIT. Would you call a team beating them?
They did make NIT. They turned it down.
Okay, whatever. Either way, that's what convinced me was the win over Auburn from Appalachian State, and they beat JMU twice. So that's why I'm going with the Mountaineers in the Sun Belt.
Correct.
All right. So let's move on to the SWAC. We got it's a cool name, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got Southern, Texas Southern, and Jackson State are the top 3. I've stepped out of bounds a little bit and went with Grambling State. Again, another conference I'm not very familiar with. I just know that Grambling does do well. They're 13-3 right now overall in their conference. 13.7% chance to win the tournament. Not necessarily the top, but they are in the top 4. So that's all I want.
Yeah, I'm piggybacking you, Tyler, with the Grambling Tigers. Very tough out of conference schedule. They played Iowa State, Florida, Washington State, Colorado, Dayton, and Drake. So yeah, that's great experience, tough schedule. Of the top 5 in their conference, the SWAC conference, they've only lost 1 game to the top 5 opponents. That was Texas Southern by 2 points. So Grambling looks to be primed to win that tournament, and I wouldn't bet against them.
Well, some of you may say that I'm climbing up the wrong tree here with this pick.
Uh-oh.
Wait a second. Sorry, it's Alcorn, not Acorn. I'm wrong.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I knew that, but I am going way on a limb here. That was another tree joke.
You do love your nuts.
Yeah. Inappropriate, Trey. Inappropriate. I'm going Alcorn State.
Okay.
Just give it to me. The SWAC is going to get a little wacky.
Swacky.
Yeah. It's been a long episode, boys. Swacky is right. All right. I want to start the next one.
Let's hear it.
I'm like devastated about the next one.
Because
we're going to the WAC tournament.
Well, I got you. So the team that I'm going to go with, in my opinion, is going to leave a gaping imprint on this conference tourney, and that's Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon, gaping imprint, like a huge imprint. It's Grand Canyon. That's it.
Gotcha.
All right. So yeah, I'm going Grand Canyon to win this. I actually think Grand Canyon has the potential to cause a little madness on that first week of the tournament.
I agree. The Antelopes, great yes. Mascot. Trent, I was hard to pick against them. Grand Canyon is good, like very good, especially when they play or able to play at home. That is a whole another atmosphere that I would say what's one of the best in college basketball. Looking at the actual WAC tournament, I don't know, it makes me laugh every time I say WAC. Yeah, it is.
Why?
I don't know. But Grand Canyon's draw in the tournament, I think they play all three of their potential matchups are harder than all three of the potential matchups that Tarleton State, who was my pick.
So you're saying the WAC is harder?
Yeah, it's harder off.
Matchups.
Beats me.
Yeah. But no, so Grand Canyon's going to have to play Seattle, Stephen F. Austin, or Utah Valley on their side of the bracket for the WAC tourney. Tarleton State's going to have to play UT Arlington, Abilene Christian, or Cal Baptist. So much easier draw for the Texans of Tarleton State. A little disappointed that I'm in the same boat with Tyler. I wish they could make the tournament, but either way, I'm going with the Texans to win the WAC because I like their draw, and I think they're also a very talented team, just like the Lopes. The Lopes don't get to play at home.
I actually didn't believe you, but I did look it up. They're not eligible.
Yeah.
Like
their day will come, Ty. Their day will come.
It's a stupid rule that needs to be repealed.
That's dumb, man. Pissing me off. Yeah, I'm on Tarleton State too. Obviously, if you can see by the shirt, Tarleton State University.
Hey, Texans, baby.
I'm on the Texans. Yep, I'm on the Texans. Their tournament starts on the 13th, but yeah, I've been on Tarleton State. They've been actually a very consistent win for me most of the season, covering and winning. So I've been riding on their team last 2 years in the WAC conference.
All right.
So we'll move on to the WCC.
All right. Close it out.
Last one we got here. So we got the WCC tournament here, West Coast Conference tournament. I mean, personally, I do believe you can make the argument. I do think most of it boils down to two teams. But I'll start us off. I do think that watching Gonzaga St. Mary's the other night kind of surprised me a little bit. I really thought St. Mary's was going to at least be a little bit competitive. And they were in the first half, but second half, Gonzaga just kind of ran away with it. So I think you're going to see a Gonzaga team that's going to kind of start to take bull by the horns, if you will, and run away with it. I would love to say, I mean, I wanted to pick San Francisco, but like I don't see any team competing with St. Mary's and Gonzaga, so I think Gonzaga actually takes this.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tyler. I'm going Gonzaga to come out of the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga's considered a bubble team. Sorry, bumping my speaker here. Gonzaga's considered a bubble team, which was actually pretty kind of confusing to me considering their losses were to Purdue, UConn, St. Mary's, who was ranked at the time, San Diego State, and the only bad one would be Santa Clara. Mark Few making the tournament. This will be his 24th consecutive, which will tie a record with Mike Krzyzewski and Tom Izzo for most consecutive tournaments by a head coach. So I think they get in. All 7 of their players that are in their starting or playing rotation haven't missed a regular season game. So they're consistent. They're healthy. They're going to be there to play. So also a big deal in my eyes. So that's why I'm going with Gonzaga. The Bulldogs. Sure. Yeah. I think it's like the 6th Bulldog team I picked.
Yeah.
Pleased.
Fetish. I do Nembhard and Ike, I think, for Gonzaga. They're Gonzaga's the most talented team. They're not only going to get in, they're going to be a 6 or a 7 seed.
Wow.
At the worst.
Even if they don't win the tournament.
Yes.
Nah, not if they don't win it. They'll be like a 9.
They win it, if they don't win the tournament, they're an 8 or 9. But hold on.
Which is wild though. But
yeah, but
it is wild.
My pick, I agree with you guys. It was super surprising this past weekend, that game, especially home, senior night. But it was just Gonzaga shot the absolute lights out. And
they're
going to have to do that again because St. Mary's is not a bad team. St. Mary's went 15-0 in the conference before that game for a reason. So I'm going to say that St. Mary's, the Gales,
yes,
bounce back and they are going to punch the automatic bid. And for the first time in a while, Gonzaga is going to get a little sweaty on Selection Sunday. Not that they're not going to make it, but they don't have an automatic bid.
Okay. All right. I was going to say, you just said no matter what, they're 6 or 7, but they're going to be sweaty.
They're in, but they're sweaty in the sense of they didn't control their own destiny. You know what I mean?
It'll be the first time. I feel like it'd be the first time in a long time. I'd like to know this: that Gonzaga's not a 1 or a 2.
Mm.
Has to be past. It has to be within 5 or 6 years, but we can look at that. Save that little sample for our bracketology episode next week, boys. That is all 32. Was it? Conference tournament champions.
Wow, guys.
I don't know if we have much more else to say other than heck of a job. And let's see where these paper clippings fall and these holes punched.
Hey, real quick. Trey. Only Trey, because you know where Trent and I stand. Duke, North Carolina this weekend, Saturday. I'm on North Carolina. Trent, you're on Duke. Who you got? Who's wins?
They're playing at North Carolina. Playing at Duke.
Duke. He doesn't even know where the game's at. He's a fan.
I'm asking.
No, I'm talking about Tyler. He didn't even know.
It's going to be North Carolina.
Okay,
good.
So 2-1. That'll be our poll this week.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, great weekend. Enjoy if you guys are UFC fight. UFC 299. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right.
Saturday night.
Mally Vera, baby.
Yeah, check that out. Appreciate that. A lot of basketball games, but and yes, we have. There he is. There he is. Yes, we do have our bracketology March Madness episode next week, man. That's crazy.
I can't wait, man. It's next week. We're picking seeds and stuff.
So next week, next week we pick seeds because Selection Sunday is next Sunday.
Wait.
Yeah,
not this Sunday.
We got it
next Sunday. Yeah.
All right.
Wednesday next week. Bracketology.
Yep. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it. And thank you, Trent. Thank you, Trey.
Take it easy, fellas. Good talking to you. Love the episode. I know it's a lengthy one, but totally worth it.
Peace out.